Why is there such a craze in India for parents to send their kids abroad?
I see it as two fundamental reasons, two fundamental drivers. The first is the number of quality institutions in India is fairly limited even today, right? So there are people who say, oh wow, you know, they've started an IIT in every state, they've started an IIM in every state, they're diluting standards. I don't think that is true at all. India needs 10 times as many institutions as what we currently have. So it's not enough for us to have 20 plus IITs. We need to have 100 IITs for the kind of place that we have. Talent pool we have. So when we don't have quality institutions, then parents are looking at it and saying, you know, if I have a little bit of money, why don't I send my my son, my daughter, why don't I send them abroad so that they can get the kind of quality education that very few people in India are getting in these institutions. That's one. The second, which I think is slowly it's going away, is India was a less attractive labor market for very bright people compared to the West, you know, so compared to America, compared to Europe, and compared to Australia and so on. That's slowly going away because you yourself are seeing this, that's happening, right? So when you are in Bangalore or you go to Bombay or you come to Hyderabad, the number of people returning from abroad to come here and to work, it suggests that the second problem where India, not a great labor market, that is probably going to go away over a period of time.
How do you see the level and caliber of leadership in corporate India?
So India, I mean, if you look at India's big organizations, right? You think about Hindustan Unilever. It's been a producer of, it's been a factory for leaders all over the world, right? So there are people who have grown in the Hindustan, at that time it used to be HLL, they've grown in the HLL system and they've gone on to lead companies all over the world. Similarly, if you think about a lot of FMCG companies in the world, people at the top of those or near the top of those have started in India in some capacity or the other. India has a tradition of producing very good leaders. That continues till today.
The students are feeling the pinch in the compensation, you know, what they are getting today compared to probably a few years back.
So if you will think about the top institutions in India, I think students are fairly well rewarded, right? So someone who comes into ISB, so the last year and this year have been a little less, but even now, right? So the salaries that they make post ISB is 2.5 times what they make when they came into ISB. So that's a big jump for anyone, you know, for that 1 year that they're spending. 3 years ago, that number was 3 times as much. Okay, so now, so post the pandemic, there's a big jump in terms of salaries. Now, when we come back, it's gone down a little in terms of a jump. It still is a jump, but the jump is a little less. I would like to think that this is currently it is a little bit of a blip, because everyone is sitting down and trying to understand what is the effect of these new technologies, especially generative AI, on a bunch of professions, on a bunch of jobs. Once people figure that out and see how they can deploy that to expand the range of offerings that they have, these jobs will start bouncing back. But educational institutions need to teach different things, probably. That's why they have to be constantly watching what is going on. If you need to grow slowly, you grow slowly, but never compromise on excellence. And that, I think, is a message that we drill into our students day in and day out, which is you have the privilege of studying in an outstanding institution. Your goal is wherever you go, you need to try to replicate this outstandingness, this excellence that you take away. We are, you know, by far, if you take any business school in this country, we are the most well represented in terms of founding of organizations and in the number of unicorns that these people eventually have ended up leading. So that is part, you know, so some part of it is, of course, these are outstanding individuals that we've taken, but some part of it is also what they are learning from the school. The goal for us ultimately is to be recognized by everyone out there in the world as a top 10 institution. If we are the first in India, that's great. But if we're among many in India that are going to be in the top 10, even greater, you know, so because that is what India needs. India needs very high quality institutions that figure in anyone's ranking of reputation and high reputation.